Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Thoughts at 3 online assembly. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt, and I'm part of the schools team at Southampton City Mission. We are an independent Christian charity that serves the church in Southampton as the church serves the city. And normally we would be going into schools at this time of year, doing our Question of Faith, our read days, doing assemblies, transition support sessions, prayer spaces, and so on. But because of the continuing lockdown situation, we can't do that. And so we are still continuing with our online assemblies. And this online assembly will be very similar to the ones that we've done before. We'll have a theme and we'll have to give you a starter activity or idea or story or something like that. And then we will answer some of your questions at the end. I have a special guest with me today. As I said in my sneak peek about 5 minutes ago, I have the probably the most special guest that I've had on my show so far. And I'll reveal who that is in a moment. But before we do that, I want to remind you to please like our Facebook page, which is Southampton City Mission. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is SEM Schools. Please do hit that notification bell as well. Like our videos, share our videos, follow us on Instagram. Help us to reach all the people who we would normally be seeing in schools, but aren't able to at the moment. That would be really great. Already see that people are tuning in. It is great to be back with you after the weekend. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I had Friday off work because it was my daughter Maggie's birthday. You can probably see her birthday cards on the mantelpiece there behind me. She had a fantastic day on Friday. So I've had a long weekend. I hope you've had a great weekend too. I'm going to say hello to a couple of people who are saying hello in the comments. So hello to Ellie, who is watching. Thank you for watching online. Hello to Dottie. Hi, Dottie. Dottie goes to a church not too far from where we live, Sholing Baptist Church, and she helps to run Causeway Prospects that I occasionally go and visit and speak at. So hello, Dottie. Nice to have you with us today. And hello to Miss Rockall and all of the zebras at St. John's the Baptist C of E Primary School who are watching in Waltham Chase. It is great to have you back with us again this week. So thank you for watching. If you are watching too on Facebook or YouTube, please do say hello in the comments so we can give you a shout out. And do as well, give me your questions about today's topic, which is Abraham. So we are continuing our kind of current mini series on people of God. We started this series last week. I did a Thoughts at 3 about Peter. Ellie did a Thoughts at 3 about Paul, and those were the first two in our series of people of God. Every single Thoughts at 3 this week is going to be on the people of God. We've got Abraham, we've got Jonah, we've got Moses, we've got David, and then also next week as well, we are going to be continuing and finishing off this series on people of God with lots of different women. So we'll have Ruth and Esther and Deborah and Mary and all sorts of other people too. So these next 2 weeks will be all about the people of God and what they were like and how God used them according to the stories in the Bible. And our first one today is Abraham. Now, Abraham, he went through a number of different changes. He started off, actually, his name was Abram and then became Abraham. And he changed where he lived because he went to a different land. And his family also changed. But kind of when it was the least expected time, he suddenly had a big change to his family. And we're going to hear about that today through a story called A Child Called Laughter by Bob Hartman. Now, I'm going to be reading this to you from the Bob Hartman Rhyming Bible. And there are some things that you can join in with. So what I would like you to do is if I say, follow me, I want you to just beckon like that. So can you wave your hand and say, follow me like that? That'd be great. When I say walk, or rather, when I say, and they went on a journey, if you could pretend to be walking like this, that would be fantastic. And then when I say how can this happen? Or you pretend that you've got a beard and stroke your beard, maybe scratch your head and think, how can this possibly happen? And then when I say even more, I want you to count, see if you can count. There are going to be lots of things that you can count. I want you to try and count as many as you can. And then when I say yes, I want you to give me a big thumbs up like that. Fantastic. And then 3 more. When I say baby, I want you to rock your arms like that as if you're holding a little baby. Very good. And when I say we know, I want you to point to your head, because that's where your brain is, hopefully. And then at the end, when I say laughter, I want you to laugh, go, ha, 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 or whatever kind of laughter you do. That's also fantastically fine. So here is the story called A Child Called Laughter. So God said to Abraham, I want you to leave your country, your kindred, and roam. Your children will bless every nation on earth. Follow me to your new home. Now, Abram was old, and his wife, Sarah, too, without any children, not one. But he trusted God's promise and followed his lead and went till the journey was done. Make sure you're walking on your journey. Very nice. Beautiful, prosperous Canaan land was the name of his destination. But I still have no children, said Abram to God. How can I start a great nation? Make sure you're stroking your beard. Maybe you've got a big, illustrious beard there. Very nice. Look up in the sky, God whispered to Abraham. Count every star you see. I'll give you more children than all of those stars, even more than the sands in the sea. See if you can count all of the grains of sand in the beach, on all of the beaches in the world, and all the stars in the sky. It's just too many to count. And just to make sure, to make certain his promise was real, God even changed Abram's name. You're Abraham now, which means father of nations. And yes, it does sound muchly the same. Thumbs up. And then one fine day, 3 visitors came and sat by the great oak of Mamre. Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah a quite sprightly 90. Abraham offered his guests a fine meal. They hurried into his tent. You bake the cake, Sarah. I'll cook a calf, and we'll find out why these gents were sent. The food was delicious, a proper feast. We'll be back in a year, the guests smiled. By then you will have one more mouth to feed, a baby, a son, Sarah's child. Oh. Alone in the tent, Sarah listened, amazed. She chuckled and then laughed out loud. Why is she laughing? The guests asked as one. We know what we're talking about. And so the guests went, and within a year, as promised, God answered all of their dreams. Sarah gave birth to a boy they called Laughter. Let's laugh. For that's what the name Isaac means. And that's the end of our story today. So we see that Abraham's name was changed from Abram to Abraham, that his place where he lived was changed. He had to go to a distant land, leave everything that he knew and travel and find a new place to live. And his family changed. Not only did Sarah have one son, but God told him that actually his children would be as countless as the stars in the sky. So to help us to answer some questions about Abraham, I'm now going to invite my special guest today. I'm not going to do this electronically because actually my special guest is here with me in my home studio today. And some of you who know me at schools that I visit will know about him already. I've spoken about him many, many times in schools, but here for the first time live with us on any Southampton City Mission Schools event is the one and only Charlie Gwynn. Please can we welcome Charlie. There you go, Charlie.
Yeah.
Hello. It is lovely to have you with me today, Charlie, to help me with some questions about Abraham. Did you enjoy the story?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. Good.
I like your long beard.
Thank you very much. Is there anything that you would like to tell us about yourself, Charlie? Like what school you go to, or what your favourite type of banana is, or anything like that?
I go to Bitton Primary School, and I am 8 years old.
And what's your favourite subjects at school?
Maths.
Maths.
But there's only one thing I don't like. Maths is division.
Division. The horrible division. Yes, you will conquer that division one day. Very good. So we have got some questions for you about Abraham. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, good. So the first frequently asked question we get asked in schools is, have you ever been through a big change? Just like Abraham. Hopefully you've never had any children.
No, I
haven't. You don't have a long beard. But have you ever been through a big change, Charlie?
Yeah, I have been through a big change.
Okay.
Because once we lived in America for a year, and then God told me in a dream that we had to go to the Red House, and so we were looking all over the place for the Red House. We couldn't find it at all. We first went to the Yellow House, then we went to the Green House, then we had the Blue House, But then we drove down White's Road, and then I looked out the window and I said, "It's the red house." So that was my big change.
So your big change there was moving from one country, America, to come and live in another country, which is England, and going to lots of different houses. How did you feel while that change was going on, Charlie?
Confusing and weird.
Yeah.
It's confusing because you're like, oh, we're in the yellow house, let's go to bed. And I'm like, we're now in the blue house. Or whatever I said, the green house, I don't know.
And how did it feel to move to a different country just like Abraham did? How did you feel moving from America to England?
Well, it felt good and bad at the same time, because it was good because God was asking us to.
Yeah.
And bad because then I sound like America and England.
That's true. You did have a very strong American accent when you came out. That's true. Good. Okay. Great answers there. So your next question is, why do you think that Abraham trusted God? So in the story, we heard Abraham do the same thing as you, leave the country he lived in to go somewhere else. But why do you think that Abraham trusted God?
Well, I think he trusted God was because God looks after everything, and he created everything. And, well, yeah, just because God looks after everything, even if it's bad, like robbers or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looks after them.
So God looks after everything and everyone, and that's why Abraham knew that he could trust him.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And then our final question, I will just say, as we're about to do this final question, that actually we do have the opportunity for you to ask your questions about Abraham. So all of the zebras at St. John's, if you can tell Miss Rocco, if you've got a question about Abraham or about people of God or about change, then ask Miss Rocco now, and she can type it into the comments, hopefully, and we will answer that in a moment. And in fact, anyone else who's watching, if you've got a question about Abraham, or if you've got a question for Charlie, then you can just ask that in the comments and we'll do our best to answer those. So your final frequently asked question, Charlie, is how can we know the right thing to do? So Abraham felt that God had told him to do something, but how did he know that he should listen to that? How did he know that that was the right thing to do? What do you think?
Well, if, say, you're not listening, and then you not listen, and then you're in the situation where you think you shouldn't listen again, well, before you know that you shouldn't do it again because you've got told enough, because listening isn't a good thing. But then if it's your first time, you know it's not a good thing to do, because probably God will tell you.
I see. Okay, so listening is the key here.
Yeah.
And sometimes we learn by making the wrong choices, and we learn from that because we get told enough, as you said.
Yeah,
we have consequences that mean that we learn what a wrong choice is and what a right choice is. And why do you think it's a good thing to listen?
Well, because, like, if you're a policeman and then someone's seen an accident and then they keep telling the policeman, this has happened, and the policeman doesn't listen, then if that person is trying to murder someone, then the policeman won't get there. So then they'll probably die. So then you need to listen because it might be important.
Right. So in that case, the policeman should have listened to the person who was telling them that something was going on. Right. And they could have saved them, couldn't they? Yeah. Right. Thank you. Good. Those are some really great questions, some answers, Charlie. Well done. And I will just say for anyone watching, I didn't give Charlie any of these answers. We did go through them earlier, and I gave him a little bit of prep, as we do with all of our guests. We make sure that they know the questions in advance so that they can prepare their answers. But these are all your answers, Charlie, so well done. Very good. Now is the real challenge, because we have some live questions which you have no idea what is going to be asked.
No, I don't know what
so hopefully you'll be able to answer these just as well. Now, our first live question comes from Ellie, who is watching, and she says, if Isaac means laughter, which was Abraham's son, do you know what your name means?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so tell us what your name means.
I know what it means for Church of Wales, because they did a little activity.
Okay.
And
which church was that in Wales that you went to? You're not sure. Okay, that's
fine.
I
forgot. Yeah, so my name means free man.
Free man.
So like if you're in jail, so God would free you.
Right.
Like beginning of earthquake, like on that story with the dream.
Oh yeah, like the story of Paul when he was in jail, and God brought an earthquake to set him free from jail. Yeah. So your name means free man. So does that mean that you're going to be causing earthquakes or?
No, I think it just means that I'm going to be free in God's love forever.
Oh, great. Okay, that's lovely. Fantastic. And I think Ellie also asked me what my name means as well. I don't often like to tell this, but my name actually means gift of God. You know, I'm just joking.
It's not actually a gift of God.
Oh,
Well, sort of.
Yeah, thanks. It does actually mean gift of God, but in a good way. In a good way. I'm trying not to be too silly about that. And actually, at the end of this week, I will be talking about Matthew, one of the disciples of Jesus, who I was named for. So we'll go into a little bit more about that then. Now, also, we've got another question, second live question coming in here, Charlie, from someone called Lucy. I don't know if you know anyone called Lucy.
Oh, it's my mum.
Your mum, okay. And she says, Abraham must have been pretty patient. Do you think it's worth waiting in certain situations? So in certain things that happen, do you think it's worth waiting for whatever it is that you know is coming?
Yeah, so like, it's worth waiting for, like, if you're just about to have a new sister or brother or
like Abraham and Sarah had Isaac in the story, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not worth waiting for playing a video game or something, because it's more worth waiting for spending time with your family.
Okay, good. So it's more worthwhile to wait to spend time with people than it is with
new family and stuff instead of waiting for video games.
Okay, good. That's a great answer. Well, hopefully that answers your questions, Ellie and Lucy. Thank you so much for those. We don't have any more questions, sorry, Charlie, but we do have people saying well done. So we've got Mummy, or Ellie actually says hi, Charlie. And Lucy said, yeah, go Charlie.
Twice.
And also Teresa is saying, well done, Charlie, which is great. And Ellie saying, fantastic answers. So thank you. Sorry.
She said thank you.
Oh,
I was saying you're welcome.
Good. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today on Thoughts at 3, Charlie. It's been a real pleasure to have you on our show. Let me give you a high five.
I want to stay to the end.
You want to stay to the end? Okay, you can stay to the end. You can stay to the end. We'll say a prayer. And then we'll tell you about what is happening tomorrow. So I'm going to say a prayer, which means I'm going to talk to God. If you would like to agree with the prayer, then at the end, you can say Amen, which just means I agree. If you don't want to agree, then say nothing. And it will go over your head and you'll be fine. Nothing will be happening to you. But if you would like to agree, you can say Amen. Regardless of what you believe or whether you pray or not, we can all think and we can all reflect because we all have minds to do so. So just take a moment to think quietly to yourself about this idea of change and this idea of trusting God and whether actually that might be something worthwhile doing. Dear God, thank you for people like Abraham who are examples to us of what it means to have faith in you. Help us to know that your plans for our lives are better than anything that we ourselves or others might imagine. And that if we listen to your voice, you will lead us in the right way to go. May we be an example of faith like Abraham to those around us by trusting you even when we're going through times of unexpected change, like in the current coronavirus. If you would like to agree, you can say Amen. Fantastic. Now, I'm just going to say a quick hello to a couple of people who are watching. So do you want to say hello to Vaso, who is watching? That's Murto's mum, who's a friend of yours. So hello, Murto and Vaso. Nice to have you with us today. And to everyone else who's watched with us online as well today, thank you so much for tuning in. Hello as well to everyone who will be watching after we've recorded this. It's always great to know that you guys are watching too. Please do feel free to leave your questions or comments in the video too, if you would like to. Just last moment to tell you about what's coming up tomorrow, which is that Ellie will be doing another assembly, another Thoughts at 3 tomorrow, Tuesday the 16th of June at 3 o'clock. And that will be another one in our People of God series, and that will be on David. David was a shepherd, he was a musician, and he also became the king of Israel. It's mentioned lots of times in the Old Testament and New Testament, so tune in tomorrow to find out what we can learn from Ellie about the example of David.
I will definitely be watching it tomorrow.
Great, good. So you've got at least one viewer tomorrow, Ellie. Until then, stay safe. Look after each other and God bless, and we will see you soon. You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye.